is above me or over me? I am standing on the floor or at the floor? I am standing in front of you or before you? This video is being recorded in the room or inside the room. Oh my God, we often get confused about these words, and in this video, I am going to ease out your confusion about such words. Hello everyone, this is Yogita and you are watching English Finishing School. In today's video, we are going to specifically talk about certain words in English grammar like on, at, in, into, which are called prepositions in English grammar. Now what are prepositions? Prepositions are the relationship words. Now they build the relationship between the verb of a sentence and the object of a sentence. Let's look at one example. She is sitting on the chair. So here, the word on is building a relationship between the verb sitting and the object, the chair. I am standing before you. So here, the word before builds a relationship between the verb standing and the object you. So this is how prepositions act in a sentence. Now let's understand the types of prepositions and clear all your confusion about certain words. There are three types of prepositions: prepositions of time, prepositions of place and prepositions of direction. Let's first discuss prepositions of time. Now in prepositions of time, we have three words basically: at, on and in. Now where do we use at? We use at noon, I'll see you at noon, I'll meet him at night, let's meet at breakfast, let's meet at lunch, let's meet at dinner, at 8 o'clock, at 8:30 a.m. and at bedtime. So all these time phrases we use at. Next is on. Now we use on with the days of the week. My teacher will take my test on Tuesday. The principal will visit her classroom on Saturday. We have a holiday on Sunday. So all these words, when days of week are discussed, we use on. And then we have particular dates of the month. For example, I will have a party on 14 July. So I'll visit his house on 25th August. So therein you particularly talk about the dates and you use on. Then we have occasions like we'll have a celebration on Christmas. We'll worship Goddess Saraswati on Diwali. So all that is on is used in here. And then we have in. In is used basically with the months of the year. In January, my birthday falls in July. COVID-19 got spread in the month of November last year. So here in a particular month we use in. And then with a particular year. In 2016 there was a revolution. And then in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, we use with these periods of the day in. And then we have seasons. In summer, in spring, and when we have autumn and winter, we say in the autumn, in the winter. So all these are called prepositions of time. Let's now talk about prepositions of place. When we say prepositions of place, we talk about the position of the object with respect to the verb used in the sentence. Let's see how. The first we discuss about in, into and inside. When I say I am just standing in a room, so here no movement is involved. Or she is sitting in the bedroom, no movement is involved. So when the object is not moving with respect to its action, so we say we use in. The milk is in the jug. The water is in the bottle. So all these words will have in. And then we use into where the movement is involved of the object with respect to its verb. For example, she jumped into the well. Or else we can say, I poured the milk into the jug. She entered into the room. So all these words will have into. And the next is inside. Now we use inside for certain object which is enclosed by the four surfaces from all around. For example, we can say the money is inside the wallet. My credit card is inside my purse, so we use inside for that. Next is on and upon. Again, on and upon is the same relationship which we have for in and into. There is in on no movement is involved and upon movement is involved. Let's understand it with an example. The pen stand is on the table. I'll say the tiger jumped upon the little deer. So all that will have upon where the movement is involved. Pranced upon, jumped upon. The monkey jumped upon the basket of banana. So we use upon with that, but the movement is involved in the process. Next is above and over. Now when we say above is basically used to mention the position of the object where the level of one object is below and other object is above. But we need to remember the fact that this two objects are on the same surface, on the same plane. Let's just take an example of a plain piece of paper, or take the example of this board only. I have written in, into, inside, above, and I have written on, upon, below. So this shows the level of two objects or two situations on the same, or two words on the same plane, that is the whiteboard. So again, look, take the example of a table where two books are lying. One is lying above and the other one is lying below, and the surface is plain, that is stable. But over is something else. Over is not used for that particular surface. The helicopter is flying over my house. So the bird flew over my terrace. So this is where the surface is not same for one object and the other. So we use over. Then the same relationship goes for below and under. When we say under, we generally talk about a three-dimensional object. Like there is a table and there is a glass or a ball of a child lying under the table. You can say the ball is under the table or the glass is under the table. So it could be anywhere under the table, and again we are not at the objects are not at the same surface. We use under, and below is just below the surface, below on one plane itself. One plane itself. Again, I gave you an example of two books lying on one table, same table, and one book is below and one book is above. And then sometimes you get your exam guidelines and you very clearly study about certain instructions mentioned below are to be followed strictly, or else sometimes some contact numbers are mentioned below or above, study them. So all that is used for below. So below is something on the same surface when you're talking about the level of two things. Next is beneath and underneath. Now beneath we use, this thing is actually covered under something, directly covered under something. You can say the baby is lying beneath the blanket. Sometimes little children do that, out of mischief. They hide themselves behind the blanket. You can say she is beneath the blanket, directly below one object. Or else say sometimes they cuddle in the quilts. You can say they're directly beneath the quilt. And then we have underneath again on an object is again hiding. You can say deep below, deep down the leaves. There was a little baby cub underneath. Or else you can say there is a huge pile of books lying on the table and you're not able to find your keys. You say, I lost my keys and finally I found it underneath a pile of books. So it is again directly covering where the thing is hiding behind, and the dog hid himself underneath the sofa. So then again hiding thing is involved. So we use for this. And then comes beside and besides. Now beside means near to. He is standing beside me. This board is beside me. So we use beside for the nearby objects. And then besides, just a small s is added to it and that changes its meaning. Besides means in addition to. For example, we use besides the students and the teachers, the principal is also going for the picnic. Or else, besides Tanima and Myra, John is also attending the party. So besides here is addition to. Next is between and among. Now between denotes two people. Something is happening between them. Two boys are sitting in the park. A baby comes and sits between them. So we just talk in relation to two people. So between shows the two people are involved in the process, and among many. The teacher distributed the candies among many people. The boss distributed the assignments among all employees. So all these words will be called among. And then direction. Next is direction, preposition of direction. The first word is to. When I am going to a particular destination, when I am moving to a particular destination, may it be temple, the market, school, hospital, I use to. She is going to hospital to see the patient. I go to school every day. I went to the school to submit the assignment or the project of my daughter. And then is from, when you are coming from a place, when you are detaching from the destination. She came back from the market. I came back from Chandigarh last week. So this is how from is used in a sentence. And then we have towards. Now towards, sometimes you are in the market and mama gives you a call and you get just scared why mama has called me, and she asks and inquires, where are you and where are you going now, and you answer, mama, I am going towards the market. So going towards means in the direction of that place. So I am going in the direction of that place, I am going towards the market. Okay, if you are going towards the market, just get few things from the market. I need it really. So this is how towards is used in a sentence. Then we have up and down, up on the hill, down the hill. All these words, when they are directly attached to the object and the verb is there in place, we use them as a preposition. So up, we already know that up is the above level and the down is the below level. Next to can be either on the left side or on the right side, and you just say, there is a bookshelf next to me, there is a board next to me. So when the object is either on any side of an object, so you say next to. He is sitting next to me. There was a stranger sitting next to me in the bus. So this is how we use next to. Next is across. Now we use across for the object where the position of the object is at the other end. You are standing at one end and that particular object which you are talking about, may it be a person, place or thing or object, is on the other end. If I say Pranav's house is across my street, that means at the other end of the street. We take a ferry across the river. So that means we want to reach the end of the river and we took the ferry. And then we have along. Along is again, there is a path, there is a passage. This is one point A and this is point B. So when I say point A, point B, so I am moving in a straight line, not moving here and there. I am moving in a straight line along a passage, and there is a line of trees. You can say trees are lined up along the road. The car was driving along the road or along the, you can say, passage, any particular passage in straight line, we talk along. Then comes through. You must have seen when you go to hill stations, the train passing through the tunnel, or else you walking through the forest, any stranger walking through the forest, but then again the passage may or may not be a straight. There is a paper in my hand, so I just pass a pen through it and I make a hole. So it is just like in Hindi we call it aar par jana. So that is through. So and sometimes your teacher wants to go through something. I want to go through your test. The boss wants to go through your projects or assignments or whatever documents, through your applications. So all that is also used. Through is used in that context. Next is onto. Again in onto, the direction is involved. There is a pen on the table. Again on will be used. I threw the pen onto the table. So where the movement is involved and in a particular direction, we use onto. Then is past. Past is also signifying the direction. Let's look at the sentence. The train whistled past the station. So that means normally we use in a context that वो वहाँ से गुजरा, train गुजरी, or say Pranav just passed my house. All that. So remember to understand the difference between PASSED, past, and PAST. So he drove past my house will be preposition, P-A-S-T, right? He rode on the bicycle past my house. He cycled past my house. So when the verb is involved and we use past with an object, we use preposition past in the sentence. So that's all about prepositions, and there are many more prepositions in English grammar which we call them collocations, or else some prepositional phrases which are definitely going to be discussed in the next videos. So till then, keep watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon next to it so that you get all notifications about my future videos. Thank you for watching.